Hey Rick, how you doing?
I'm doing good today. I'm okay. I'm walking and talking. It's good.
All right, let's do me a favor. Tell us your name
It's Rick Schwartz.
and how do we know each other?
We know each other through boxing, actually. A good friend of ours, Brazzo, uh, hired you basically to do the boxing for the Parkinson's Association of the Rockies. We call it Power Punch Parkinson's, and you've done a great job. But that's how we first met, I think.
Yes, probably, I don't know, 3 years we've known each other,
Yeah,
or something like
yeah.
that. Okay, tell us how old you are, Rick.
I am 76.
Yes, I would like to get into a few things, your history, that kind of a thing. But I also do want to touch on Parkinson's because obviously it's a big part of your life now.
It is now.
Kind of go into the beginning stages of that. What age you were when you found out, and what that journey has been.
You want me to start with the Parkinson's or?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I was 52, I believe, and I was working as the news director at Fox Sports Net Rocky Mountain, and I enjoyed that, and everything was going pretty well. I don't have any kids, but I had some money because I was working in TV, and I get to do a lot of things. But as when I turned 52, I noticed that my toes would scrunch up, and I couldn't move them. So my girlfriend at the time would just actually take some lotion and sort of yank them out again. And then as time went on, he's going, what the heck is going on? And I just chalked it up to some kind of old injury when I was doing sports a lot. But then it got, a little bit crazy. I'd have this, what I called walkabouts. I knew where I was going, I knew what I was doing, but I'd be sort of inside myself. I couldn't get out to be normal. And it would only last about 15, 20 minutes, and I'd come out of it. But again, I was wondering. So finally, I told my doc, my internist, I'm having this thing, and my hands get stiff and all that. And he said, you may have a problem. We're going to send you to a specialist. And from there, it took 2 years for them to figure out I had Parkinson's because I had everything from a brain tumor to a pinched nerve in my neck. All those were, and this is back 23 years ago, so they knew much less than they know now. They just eliminate things. And the one thing I'll always remember is, once they finally 2 years, the specialist comes in, he goes, well, we verified you have Parkinson's. What do you want to do? What do I want to do? I don't want to have Parkinson's. Can we start with that? I made a joke. And that's where, from then on, it's been 23 years, and I've had it. It's chronic, and it's something at this point you can't get rid of. So, it was March 23rd, 2000, and so it was 23 years last March since I was first diagnosed.
I gotcha. A question about that is one of the things that I admire about you, that I appreciate about you, is that you attack things, you attack life. You're here in boxing class, and you are pushing yourself. You're not settling. Well, I've got Parkinson's, I give up type of thing, and you're 76 years old. You're doing better than so many perfectly healthy, or if I could use that term, human beings that are your age or much younger than you. So where does that come from?
I don't know. It's just something that it's always been with me. When I was playing ball, I was known as Bulldog because I'm not that big. I'm not. Most professional athletes are bigger and stronger than me, but I was in good shape and I could throw. For me, I just had a special gift to throw a baseball. I don't know why, but beyond that, I just always had this thing inside me that I had to work harder and train harder and do more, just because everybody else, no one's going to look at me and go, wow, what a specimen, we got to give him another shot. I had to always prove myself, which is probably good in the long run. That's where it started. And then when Parkinson's, I just knew in my mind that if you sat on the couch, you were done. And I always kept that in mind, and I just started. And I always worked out, which was just lucky, because as years went by, they proved more and more that exercise was very important to keep the wolves at bay with Parkinson's.
And how long have you been doing the boxing?
Boxing, it's been about 7 years now. I was looking around for something to do that would be very, would keep me in great shape. And I looked at boxers, I swear, and I went, none of those guys are fat, man. They have to be in shape. And I thought, that's got to be a good workout. I knew it was, but, I just verified it in my own mind and went into the gym. And that's where it started. And then it was about 10 years ago. 3 years I did it by myself and my trainer and all that. About 7 years ago, I said I was the board president of the Parkinson's Association of the Rockies down in Denver. And I just decided, well, maybe we should start a program because I think it's really good for you. And, at first I got a lot of resistance. Boxing, people with Parkinson's can't box. I mean, it's not good for them. I said, I'm telling you, it's pretty good. And finally they helped me start a program. And it's not me, but it just took off. We started with 2 classes on a Saturday down in Denver, 5 Points area. Ended up before the pandemic with 27 different classes going all around Colorado.
Wow.
So that was just nice, but it was people saying, I want to get out there and do something.
Sure.
And and then of course the pandemic made everything. We're building it back up again because I just know my heart is so good for you.
And you mentioned that it has actually started taking hold in other places around the country.
Yeah, well, it was about, when I first thought of it, I read an article about a group down in Texas that were just starting it, and there was another group in Indiana. That's the only 2 I knew. Just about the same time. I was independent of them, but once I decided to try that, I was trying to catch up with any other programs, and there were these 2. So we were in the vanguard. Now I think all around the country, most states have a form of it. And again, I wasn't a genius. I just was a guy who was trying to find an answer, that's all.
Nice. So let's go into your background some because it's fascinating. Obviously, I've heard the story a few different times, a few different ways, but I'd like to record it so we have it on camera. Maybe start with just where you grew up and then maybe fast forward a little bit through your childhood and about your athletic career.
Well, I guess I'll keep it as short as I can. I was born in Brooklyn, New York. I'm a New Yorker. And, and then when I was about 8 or 9, we moved out to the suburbs. My father was a World War II vet, and he had, you could buy these homes out in Levittown, New York, which was the first suburb in America, by the way. And I think it cost $8,000, and it took my dad 25 years to pay it off. But that's where I grew up. And, I started, I love sports. I was just one of those kids that loved to play sports, and that was what I liked to do. And, like any kid, I just started playing baseball. Back then, baseball was the sport. Unlike today, but 40 years ago, it was the sport. And so I just naturally played baseball, started throwing, and I could throw pretty hard. So even when I was like 8, Little League, almost 9 years old, I started pitching because I had this ability just to throw hard.
And you're left-handed.
Left-hander, yeah, which explains a lot. But no, so from then on, I just always played baseball right through Pony League and high school, and got a scholarship to St. John's in New York, and we were a good team. We were 4th in the country in my sophomore year. We went to the College World Series 2 out of my 3 varsity years, and we lost the middle one to Rider University in New Jersey because of a left-hander who gave up 3 runs, and we lost 3-2. That was me. So if we had won that game, we would have been 3 years in